My best friend ordered a Diet Coke instead of regular, and I knew she was asking for help. Jenna texted me at 11 p.m. Hey, could you bring me a Diet Coke? I'm at Tom's house. I stared at my phone in horror because Jenna has been diabetic since childhood and hasn't touched artificial sweeteners in years. We created this code when we were 16 after watching too many crime shows. Diet Coke meant, help me now, no questions asked. She'd been dating Tom for 6 months, and I'd never liked him. There was something off about how he'd slowly isolated her from all her friends except me, but Jenna insisted he was just protective. Now I knew she was in serious trouble. I drove to Tom's house doing 80 in a 45 zone, my heart pounding the entire way. The front door was unlocked, which immediately set off alarm bells because Tom had 3 deadbolts and a security system he obsessed over. I walked in calling Jenna's name, but the house was dead silent. Her phone was sitting on the kitchen counter, still open to our text conversation, but her purse and keys were gone. When Tom appeared from the living room, he looked genuinely surprised to see me. Oh hey, weird timing. Jenna just left about an hour ago, he said, running his hand through his hair nervously. She said she wasn't feeling well and called an Uber home, but Jenna's car was still in the driveway, and she would literally rather walk 10 miles than leave her phone somewhere. I pretended to believe him and started heading toward the door, but then I heard something that made my blood freeze, a muffled thudding sound coming from somewhere below us, like someone kicking against wood. Tom's eyes darted toward the basement door, and that's when I knew. Actually, I think I left my earrings here last time, I said, trying to sound casual while scanning the room for weapons. Mind if I check the couch? While Tom was distracted, I noticed scratches around the basement door handle and what looked like zip ties sticking out of his jacket pocket. The thudding sound came again, more desperate this time. I told Tom I'd check my car for the earrings and circled around to the back of the house. The basement window was cracked open, and I could hear multiple voices now. Not just Jenna. I climbed through and found a scene from my worst nightmares. Jenna was tied to a chair in the corner, duct tape over her mouth, but she wasn't alone. 2 other girls were there, both bound and gagged, looking like they'd been there for weeks. One was Rebecca Chen from our college. She'd been missing for 3 weeks. The other I recognized from missing person flyers around town. Jenna's eyes went wide when she saw me, and she started frantically shaking her head and making muffled sounds, trying to warn me about something. That's when I heard Tom's heavy footsteps on the basement stairs. He was carrying more zip ties, a roll of duct tape, and a small bag of what looked like sedatives. Well, this is really fucking inconvenient, he said when he saw me, his whole demeanor shifting from nervous to predatory. Jenna wasn't supposed to come down here tonight. She was looking for wine and accidentally saw my collection. He said this like he was talking about baseball cards, not human beings. I've been planning to move them all tomorrow night. I have buyers lined up in 3 different states, but now you've really screwed up my timeline. That's when I realized Jenna's text wasn't just a cry for help. It was sent in the few seconds before Tom was about to drug her unconscious and load her into a van. Tom started advancing toward me with the zip ties, but I grabbed a broken piece of concrete from the basement floor and threw it at his head. While he was stumbling, I managed to call 911, whispering our location to the dispatcher. Tom heard me and started running toward the stairs, but Jenna had somehow worked one hand free and grabbed his ankle, sending him crashing down. The other girls helped us drag furniture in front of the basement door while Tom was unconscious. When the police finally broke it down 20 minutes later, they found detailed transportation schedules, fake IDs, and a list of buyers in Tom's backpack. The FBI told us later that our interruption had prevented a massive trafficking operation from moving 12 girls across state lines that weekend. Tom got life in prison without parole.